I want to say to the British people, protest against this law.
Impeaching protests all around the UK, it's a really, really bad thing.
You should strike more. I think you should maybe protest more.
Sorry. Well, you can have protests too, huh?
Il faut se battre, il faut descendre dans la rue et il faut se battre. Voilà.
You need to have dignity in life, and you need to also have the hope that you can live a life outside work.
Now we are giving you a bit of strength, so now you have to fight against this project.
In the UK, the government are passing a law which will make protesting illegal. What would you say to that?
So I think that protesting is the best way to express, because you gather to other people you won't have forced limits, and that's a way to create something else, because we think about the electoral system, all the people that are powerful enough to have their voice up, but in the street there are some people, for example the ones that don't have the good papers, that can express in the regular way. So that's a way for them to be shown, to be seen, and to be understood by sharing, by gathering. And I think that impeaching protests all around the UK, it's a really, really bad thing.
What the age is to retire in the UK?
Yeah, I believe that's 67, something like that. Yeah, it's far too. I'm a teacher. I teach middle school, and I can't see myself doing what I do until I even don't know how I'd be able to do that until 60. So yet alone 67, I can't imagine that.
Our parliament is actually passing a law to make it illegal to protest or to strike. I mean, what would you say to the people of the UK? Should they be concerned about that?
Yeah, of course. The first word I want to say is support, a word of support. And I want to say to the British people, protest against this law. We are in a moment in Europe when the people are rising. They are raising their head, and they are saying no to that sort of things. We have seen that in Britain, in the UK, there were a lot of protests during, I think, November or December, and this was really good for us. We were watching you, and we were looking at you and saying, "Wow, they're strong." So it gave us some power, some courage to fight in our own country. So I would say to the British people, I would say to you, just do the same. So now we are giving you a bit of strength. So now you have to fight against this project.
Il faut se battre, il faut descendre dans la rue et il faut se battre. Voilà. Moi je pense que quand on est dans son bon droit et qu'on est nombreux, on peut faire changer les choses. Ça peut être très dur, alors qu'il est avec l'inflation, avec la vie est dure pour tous les gens qui sont dans la rue. La plupart des gens qui sont dans la rue ont une vie difficile, avec un salaire faible. Ouais. Mais on y est quand même. On va perdre beaucoup de journées de salaire, mais ça vaut le coup. Ça vaut le coup. Il y a les pays où c'est 67, 68 ans la retraite. Nous, on se bat pour que ça soit pas 64. Et c'est pas parce qu'ailleurs c'est pire. Faut regarder le mieux, faut pas regarder le pire. Il faut se battre pour le mieux, pas pour le pire.
You know what the retirement age is in the UK?
What is it? No, I don't.
67.
67, wow.
What would you say to that?
I'm sorry, mostly. I really am, and I hope I'm sorry. Well, you can have protests too, huh?
Well, there's a lot of movement at the moment, a lot of strike movement, but nothing like this. I mean, what would your advice be? Would you say to people, go out and take to the streets?
Yeah, I do think we should do that. Maybe, I think a lot of people are scared to go out and use their voice to do that, but a lot of people also are worried that they don't know enough or they don't understand enough about those things. I think if you know what you want, you just go out in the streets and you follow people, you can talk to people, people can explain to you what they think, and you've got nothing to lose, basically.
I mean, looking at the UK, the retirement age is 67. That's when you get your pension. I mean, what would you say? Would you say that was too old?
Well, you should strike more. I think you should maybe protest more, because it's a good thing to have more free time. It's a good thing for work, especially for workers who have difficult jobs, to be able to retire before their body is completely broken by work. I don't think, I wouldn't call this lazy. I would just call it, human rights.
There's a big trade union movement in the UK at the moment, but it's nowhere near on the scale of the demonstrations that you've seen here. I mean, what would be your advice to workers who are going on strike in the UK?
Well, you have to. Well, I don't have to give advice. I don't have to say what they should do. Okay, the workers know themselves what they should do, because that's what unions are for the workers to organize themselves. So I wouldn't dare give any advice as to what they should do. What I could say is that I think people have to understand why you're striking, and they have to agree with it. So you have to present it with maybe your own media, because we know some media have a tendency to actually say, yeah, oh, they strike because they're lazy, whatever. Now you have to have your own communications form and to convince people to support you.
There isn't one way to struggle. There isn't one way to protest, and the beauty of it, I think, is people taking part by themselves because they are convinced of their point of view, and they really engage themselves to their thoughts. So if they're processing in a way current to what they believe, I think they do all they want, and they are free by showing it. If they think that strike is a benefit, it benefits them. Well, it's great. I don't have advice to give them. I'm no one to advise anybody. I think that everybody should be just current with their thoughts and struggle how they can and how they think it's going to be powerful to them.
Do you think there's an argument to be made about the pension age being 64? Well, I mean, looking to other countries, and that age is a lot older. I mean, do you think that other countries should be fighting for it to be lower?
Yes, definitely. I think today people who are who are agreeing with Macron, they have this thing, oh, look, in other countries it's worse, we shouldn't be complaining. It's not because you look at shit that you're not in the mud yourself, so you should look up and, the workers who are working very difficult job, what is the promise for the life? The life expectancy is reducing. You're gonna work more and more, you're gonna die younger. With the ecological problems also, that you have all these cancers and health problems, it's not possible. You need to have dignity in life, and you need to also have the hope that you can live a life outside work and outside all this capitalistic system that uses your body and then throws you out.